Something inside of you is asking to evolve. There's a point where external success can no longer compensate for internal misalignment. On the outside, results look impressive. The output is high and your leadership is trusted. But something inside of you is asking to evolve. You've simply outgrown the version of you that got you here. We're going to look more deeply at the 5 aspects: soul, the 3 minds, negative, positive, neutral, and your physical body, and what that means for your business, your identity, your next level of leadership, and your self-expression. These energetic aspects shape the quality of your leadership and the culture you create, the clarity behind your decisions, the depth of impact you bring into every space, the identity you inhabit, and the self-expression that you allow yourself to hold, and the fulfillment you experience through your work and in your life. So the first one we're going to look at in more depth is the soul body. This is your essence, your internal compass. It's the source of your identity, your vision, and your leadership. When you're not so strongly connected to your soul, you tend to be more performative, trying to meet people's expectations and staying in versions where everything looks like it's working on the outside, but it doesn't give you that fulfillment deep within. So when you're really deep in that connection to your soul, and you can go into more detail also through the numerology, you can understand the type of soul you arrived here with, so you can work on the challenges that you might face, so that you can come into a fuller version of yourself. So your identity becomes something you fully inhabit. Your self-expression and your voice, it becomes fully you. You feel more fulfilled, you become more fulfilled, because your outer life finally mirrors your inner truth. In your business, this is going to look like clear direction without second guessing, offers and ideas that feel deeply aligned, a brand that reflects deeply and truly who you are, and leadership that feels sourced instead of performed. So every woman who reaches a high level finally realizes that this level of leadership cannot be sustained, that strategy cannot be sustained without soul. So getting to know your soul more and bringing it up more to the forefront installs the intelligence behind your authentic identity and leadership. Moving on to the 3 minds. It's understanding that you have 3 levels of the mind that have their plus points and their negative points, and you can notice when that you're veering into one more than the other, and ideally we're looking to be in the neutral mind. You can look at it like the internal boardroom, the identity regulators. So these minds determine how you think and also how you see yourself, how much you allow yourself to express, and what identity feels safe to inhabit. So when they're fragmented, you'll recognize this as overthinking, identity wobbles, creative inhibition, emotional noise, and a gap between who you are and who you show up as. And when it's all more coherent, you step into a more grounded, powerful self-concept, because the structural intelligence supports it. Let's break them down, the 3 minds. Negative mind is the protected mind, so it's your identity, your boundaries, and your energetic containment. It helps you to define your no's, no longer you're willing to tolerate. It can also be when it's out of balance that you're a people pleaser. You tend to shrink parts of yourself, dilute yourself. Fulfillment is decreased because you can feel that you're compromising. When the negative mind is balanced, identity feels non-negotiable. Your self-expression becomes clear and grounded, and you stop editing yourself, and your energy stops leaking out into misaligned areas. And your fulfillment increases because you stop abandoning yourself. And the positive mind, all about possibilities and creative expansion. It expands the sense of who you can be. And when you're imbalanced in the positive mind, it's excessive positivity. It's not reality. It leads to like too many ideas and never actually following through with any of them. It's like it's too much information gathering. And when you're balanced, you see yourself in your highest expression and you choose an identity that matches your desired projection. And you create an identity that matches your desired trajectory. And creativity becomes precise instead of chaotic. And your expression feels liberated instead of pressured. Your self-expression becomes a source of deeper fulfillment. We're going to look at the neutral mind. So this is what we're aiming for. So we have the negative mind that sort of looks at all the negativities, and predominantly humans are much more in this area of mind. For some reason we have a negative bias. Being too positive is more like the rose-tinted glasses. You're just not looking at things realistically. You're not facing the reality. So we want to come into the neutral mind, that wonderful balance where you're getting the best of both, and you come into this really direct current of thinking. You could think of your neutral mind as embodied truth. A very clear, this is who I am now. You stop negotiating with your identity. You make your decisions based on an embodied truth. Your self-expression becomes steady and coherent, and people feel that. You navigate stress without falling into old versions of yourself. And your fulfillment increases because you feel internally aligned and self-led. The neutral mind stabilizes, and your business and your relationships feel that. And then we're moving on to the fifth aspect, and it's your physical body. And it's about the body, it's about fitness, but it's more than just physical fitness. It's about understanding the body as the vessel that's here to contain you in this reality. The body is where your identity becomes real. It carries your presence, your voice, your impact. When your physical body is strengthened, when you strengthen the nervous system in the physical body so it can hold more, become integrated, your identity becomes embodied rather than conceptual. So you're going to feel more grounded in who you are, confident expressing your truth, and more fulfilled because your lived experience expresses your internal alignment. And more fulfilled because your lived experience matches your inner evolution. Become more influential. And your work deepens because you deepen. So women come to this work because they sense that they're operating beneath their potential, beneath their natural energetic design. And the soul shift refines that design. So it helps you to understand exactly your soul type, which of the three minds you're out of balance in. It helps you to see the importance of your physicality and the practices that strengthen your body so that it can hold you. It helps you to reorganize the way your identity and your expression moves through you. It's an upgrade to the subtle systems that your leadership identity rests upon. This is the work that makes everything else, the strategy, the content, that offers the teams, relationships, your own fulfillment, feel clean, grounded, and inevitable. I've been sensing there's a more powerful, a more embodied version of you emerging. And this is a structure that supports that to land. Through the soul shift reading, we just get a deeper look at these aspects, because to each of the aspects you have a numerological value that gives you even another layer of information. So each soul is different. So you get to see more of a remembrance of your soul. So we start with the reading, and then the reading helps us to understand what practices we can do prescriptively, precisely, to bring you up into this version that your soul is desiring to evolve into.